Most people think natural disasters come out of nowhere. But in reality, the Earth is giving us signals all the time. We just don't always know how to read them. In this video, I'm going to explain what's really happening beneath the surface of Aleutian Islands, why it matters, and what it means for people who live there. This is Geohazards Explained. What if I told you one of the most violent fault systems on Earth has started clearing its throat? Not with one big earthquake, but with clusters of them. Swarms, popping up again and again across the Aleutian Islands. And here's the twist. Scientists watching these swarms are also publishing new research suggesting the worst Aleutian tsunamis in the last century might not even represent the upper limit of what this system can do. Today, we're going to break down what's happening in the Aleutians right now, what the latest studies are saying about the megathrust, and why this matters far beyond Alaska, especially for tsunami risk across the Pacific. The Aleutian Islands sit on the boundary where the Pacific Plate pushes under the North American Plate. That boundary is a massive subduction zone, often called the Alaska-Aleutian Megathrust, capable of producing the kind of earthquakes that reshape coastlines and launch tsunamis across the Pacific Ocean. Think of it like two giant sheets of sandpaper. Sometimes they grind slowly, sometimes they lock, and when they finally slip, suddenly, you get the earthquakes that make history. Most people imagine earthquakes like this. One big main shock, then smaller aftershocks. But a swarm is different. There's no clear main quake. It's a tight cluster of earthquakes, often similar in size, happening in the same place over hours, days, or weeks. And swarms are exactly what seismologists have been tracking in the Aleutians, repeatedly. Let's start with May 2024. The Alaska Earthquake Center reported that late on May 1st, in the Fox Islands region, 4 earthquakes over magnitude 5 hit within 12 minutes. Then more than 50 smaller earthquakes followed over the next day. They noted these quakes were shallow enough, roughly 16 to 34 miles deep, and had thrust-type motion consistent with slipping on the subduction interface itself. That's the megathrust doing megathrust things, just not as one giant rupture. Then, in December 2024, another swarm. The Alaska Earthquake Center described a magnitude 6.3 quake southwest of Atka Island, followed by activity that didn't behave like a normal aftershock sequence. Because later that day, 2 more earthquakes above magnitude 6 struck within about 20 minutes. They emphasized something important. Even when a swarm includes big quakes, the chance it's a force shock to something larger is statistically quite low. In other words, a swarm can be dramatic without being a countdown clock. Fast forward to March 2025. Yet another swarm in the western Aleutians. The Alaska Earthquake Center reported 8 earthquakes larger than magnitude 5 in 2 days in the Aleutian Islands region, with no clear main shock. The largest at that point was a magnitude 6.2, about 18 miles, 29 kilometers deep. And people felt it. Local reporting from KUCB described residents in Adak feeling shaking, but no reported injuries or damage. And officials talking about preparedness like tsunami shelters and emergency supplies. So what causes swarms in a place like the Aleutians? Sometimes swarms are linked to magma or fluids. But in these recent Aleutian cases, the Alaska Earthquake Center has described them as tectonic swarms, happening on a major plate boundary with mechanisms consistent with thrust slip. And here's one of the most interesting ideas. Swarms may cluster near the edges of locked segments on the megathrust, areas called asperities, where things are locked strain builds. Around the edges, strain can release unevenly, sometimes as a swarm instead of one clean, giant rupture. Now, let's talk about the new research, because this is where it gets serious for tsunami risk. A USGS write-up in 2024 highlights a study re-examining the 1957 magnitude 8.6 Aleutian earthquake. The study suggests tsunami modeling and field evidence point to shallow slip of about 12 to 26 meters over a 600-kilometer section in the eastern Aleutians. Enough that the eastern portion alone could correspond to something like a magnitude 8.3 to 8.6 component, helping explain the big tsunami impacts observed far away, including Hawaii. Then in 2025, USGS described research reconstructing a 700-year sequence of great Aleutian earthquakes using tsunami deposits and modeling, evidence from both the Aleutians and Hawaii. They report modeling that suggests tsunamis in that sequence could propagate over 3,910 kilometers, 2,400 miles, across the Pacific, and they infer major prehistoric events in the 14th, 15th, and 18th centuries, with slip estimates reaching up to 22, 26, and 32 meters. USGS also notes the 14th century event may have produced Hawaii inundation that could have exceeded the 1957 tsunami, meaning hazards beyond historic examples are plausible. So, do these swarms mean a megaquake is imminent? No, and it's crucial to say that clearly. Even the Alaska Earthquake Center stresses that swarms, including moderately large ones, do not necessarily portend something bigger. But here's what they might mean. Swarms could be telling us which parts of the megathrust are behaving strangely, where stress is being released, where it's accumulating, and how complex the boundary is over time. One more piece of context. A University of Hawaii team published an estimate suggesting a 9% chance of a magnitude 9+ earthquake in the greater Aleutians over the next 50 years, and a smaller estimate when focusing on the eastern Aleutians. Whether you live in Alaska, Hawaii, or anywhere with tsunami exposure, the real takeaway is painfully simple. You don't need prediction to need preparation. Know your evacuation route. Don't wait for an official alert if you're in the immediate danger zone. And treat every swarm as what it really is, a reminder that this plate boundary is alive, whether it breaks quietly, in clusters, or all at once. And if you've ever felt an Aleutian quake, drop where you were and what it felt like in the comments. Geologic hazards can't be eliminated, but they can be understood. And when we understand how the Earth works, we make better decisions about where we live, how we build, and how we prepare. If this helped you see the ground beneath your feet a little differently, consider subscribing for clear, honest explanations of Earth's most powerful processes. This is Geohazards Explained, and I'll see you in the next one.